Hello, this is the Roachia. I am back, and we are going to be playing a little bit more on Bastion for the minute. Um, I have a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about that is news in the Minecraft world right now. So, I just watched a video by IBX Toycat. You probably have heard of him. He's a main Minecrafter on YouTube, and he actually shares a lot of the news that is coming out of out from Microsoft and the Minecraft community. And so yeah, we're back on Bastion. Today we're probably going to be taking some stuff, or going and getting some stuff. I was planning on going through the portal, going back over to my other place and getting some stuff to bring over to here. So most of my stuff I would like to bring over here, and I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it is through the portal. And it is also a simple enough and easy enough thing to do while I am talking to you guys about what's going on in the world of Minecraft. So, and what is going on, what the news is that the console edition for several different platforms is going to be discontinued. They're not going to get more updates after the aquatic update. And I heard this and I thought, you know what? Well, it kind of makes sense. See, Microsoft is looking towards the future of their game and of the platform that they're working on. And they're thinking, you know what? This version of the game on these other consoles is pretty much complete. We've already done what we needed to do with them. So it's kind of time to move on. And where we're moving on, we've already announced, we've already been working on it, we've already shown that this is the future of Minecraft. So if this is the future of Minecraft, then why aren't we just working on the future of Minecraft instead of jumping back and forth all the time to these old versions? It makes sense to me. It makes sense for Minecraft to do this and for Microsoft to do this. So, and what does it really mean for me? Well, for me, it's not going to affect my gameplay all that much. And the reason for that is because oh, okay, that's not the one I need to go to. The reason that it doesn't affect me all that much is because I play on Xbox One, but I play Bedrock Edition. So it's not going to affect me all that much if they decide not to support older versions of the game. Now, this may make me a little bit insensitive to people's plight who still like and still want to play the Xbox One edition, but I was actually there. I played the Xbox One edition, and I loved the Xbox One edition. I played the 360 edition, loved the Xbox 360 edition. I played the Wii U edition, loved the Wii U edition. I have loved every edition of Minecraft that I have played. But in the end, I was like, okay, well, the future of Minecraft is going to go towards the Bedrock edition, or Better Together edition, or just the new edition. As I've said before, that's what I like to call it. It's just the new edition of Minecraft, because it is the new edition of Minecraft, and it is going to remain the new edition for Minecraft. And this announcement is basically clarifying that this is going to be the version of Minecraft we are going to have. This is the version of Minecraft we're going to be playing. I don't have a huge problem with this, but that's not because I don't like the other versions of Minecraft. The other versions of Minecraft are excellent versions of Minecraft. They are versions of Minecraft you can play and enjoy. And there is nothing wrong with playing those versions of Minecraft. You can have a whole lot of fun playing those versions. But you can also have just as much fun playing this version of Minecraft. And it seems like people seem not to understand that. They seem to think that this version is terrible, that it's bad, that it's not good, that it doesn't work. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, right here, this version of Minecraft does work. It has been fixed. The bugs are gone. There is very few to no bugs in this. In fact, they said that there's going to be glitches, there might be crashes and different things by putting the experimental content in. I have the experimental content on. I don't really get that many glitches or that many problems. In fact, I had more glitches and more problems with the regular Xbox One edition, the Xbox 360 edition, and the Wii U edition than I have with this one, even with the experimental gameplay on. So this edition is not the problem. And I think that people will realize that they will come around and they'll see, you know what, this version is actually okay. It's fun to play. It's still Minecraft. Yes, the controls are a little bit different. The controls are a little bit weird. I mean, I had that when I went from Wii U to Xbox 360. My A and B were switched. And it drove me crazy and was hard for me. For 2 weeks, I struggled with it. But I realized, you know what? If I'm going to be playing in the future, I'm going to be playing on the Xbox. And this was when I was planning on getting me an Xbox One. I switched over to Xbox 360 and I was all like, I might as well get used to the controllers on the Xbox 360 because the Xbox One controller is about the same, or very close to the same actually. And so I might as well get used to that controller because I'm going to have to change. I changed. I adapted. And that's what people are going to have to do if they want to continue playing Minecraft. They've got to change. They've got to adjust the way their gameplay. Just a little bit. It's not a major adjustment, I promise. Because this version of Minecraft is very, very similar to the Xbox One edition and the console editions. There is very little difference, and the difference is not going to be all that noticeable, even to those hardcore players on the console edition. They can and will be able to change the way they play, and they won't have to change it much. Your character moves a little bit different. Your gameplay is just a little bit different. It's not even a lot different. It's a little bit different. And that little bit of difference is not big enough to sit and whine and complain about it. It really isn't. And there is a lot of people complaining about this edition and how bad it is. And the other part of that is this, okay? I have been a gamer for a long time. I was just thinking about it, and I have actually been playing computer games for over 20 years. In fact, the first video games that I ever played were actually on the Atari. So that's how old of a gamer I am. It makes me feel even older than I actually am, because when I played on the Atari, I was like 8 years old for the first time. But yeah, that's still quite a while ago. And at that time, when I started playing on the Atari, Nintendo hadn't come out. It was getting close though. It was getting close to being released. I didn't really catch any news of it for quite some time, but it was going to be coming out before too much longer after that, because that would have been somewhere around 88. So yeah, a long time ago. It was a long time ago. So, but at that time, I learned how to game. I learned about video games. And one of the things that I learned was that you will always find games that you love, and those games may not be playable all the time. In fact, we're very fortunate with Minecraft. Minecraft has been around longer than most games last. So on the Atari, my favorite game was, I forget what, Commander or Commando, or I can't remember what it was called, but in any case, you drove a little tank around, a little pixelated tank around, and you shot, and you could bounce your bullets off the walls and around corners and things, and you tried to hit your enemy. That was my favorite game on Atari. I also liked Frogger. I also liked a few other games of that nature. But the fact of the matter is, it wasn't about the game staying the same. In fact, why would you want your game to stay the same forever? Don't you want it to change? And if you want it to change, you want it to change for the better, right? Well, the Better Together edition is all about becoming better, becoming a better game, becoming a game that Microsoft can really develop and make better. And they want to make it better for us, not just better for them, not just make it because it will make more money for them that way. Because if it's not an actual better game, then they don't make any more money off of it than they would the original one. In fact, they'd make more money off the original because it was a better game. That's just the way things work. But they looked at it and they said, hey, guess what? We think we can improve on this game. We can make the gameplay better. We can add some stuff to the game that people will really like. And we can also make it so that these games will actually be able to play across consoles, across platforms. So they started tweaking it and fixing it. Well, they may have actually released this version of the game, the new edition, Bedrock edition, Better Together edition, whatever you want to call it. This edition, they may have released it a little bit early because they hadn't quite fixed all the bugs and made it work just exactly the way it should, especially for console. Because, yeah, on Xbox One, it should work like it's on Xbox One, not on a pad, a phone, or even on a PC. It should work like it's on Xbox One. That being said, this version of this game is now very much an Xbox One game, and it works like an Xbox One game. And not only that, but just the few little quirks that did change, like some of the movement's a little bit different. Some of the buttons are even a little bit different. Like your drop button is no longer B. Your drop button is the down button on your directional pad. Not the joypad, the direction pad. So the up, down, left, right. That pad, you push the down button to drop it instead of your B button. My opinion, good change. You want to know why? Because if I'm playing a game and this is one of the biggest reasons. Okay, so I started on Wii U, and so when I went to Xbox 360, and then to this version or to this one with the or to Xbox One edition, both of those editions, I would constantly be dropping items when I didn't want to, because I was hitting the wrong button. Well, that problem is not the case anymore. Now, instead, what happens is I don't drop an item. What I do is I hit my B button and I crouch. That's not a big problem. I crouch and then I'm like, oh wait, I didn't mean to crouch. So all I have to do is uncrouch, stand up straight, and go back to it. Go back to playing. So I guess it really upset me a little bit, or actually it didn't really upset me that much. But it did make me think when I saw all these people complaining about how bad the Xbox One edition or the Bedrock edition, or Better Together edition of Minecraft is so much worse than the console edition, because I just don't see it anymore. When it first came out, I was skeptical and I hesitated. In fact, the Xbox One edition, or the Bedrock edition, the Better Together edition, it actually came out before I got my Xbox One. So you're saying, well, then why did you play the Xbox One edition? Because I was an unbeliever. I said the Minecraft Bedrock or Better Together edition is not as good. I watched some videos, and some of those videos were IBX Toy Cats. Some of those videos were other people that actually reviewed the new edition of Minecraft and basically said, wait a minute, they've got some bugs still in this. It's not better. It's not what they were talking like it was going to be. This is not a good version of Minecraft. And so I took them at their word. And not only that, but they did show some of the problems of the very early on forms of it. So what I did is I said, all right, well, I'm not going to get that version then. I'm going to get the Xbox One edition. And I also was like, you know what? And not only am I going to get the Xbox One edition, but I'm going to get it on a disc, because I had very traditional views. I still have fairly traditional views when it comes to gaming, because I am an older gamer, as I've kind of already revealed. And so, oh wait, I have my cobblestone in a different chest. So I didn't get the new Minecraft. Instead, I got my Xbox One edition on disc. And I started playing it, and I was like, ah, yeah, this is pretty good. This is fun. This is what I wanted. For months, I was like, this is what I'm going to play. I'm not going to even bother going over to the other edition of Minecraft, because everybody says it's not that great anyway. But then the time went on, and I started realizing, you know what? That Bedrock edition, that's probably the edition that they're going to end up putting any updates. If they put any updates at all, that's probably where they're going to go. So eventually I might be forced to change anyway. And when I started realizing I'm probably going to have to change anyway, I started thinking, okay, well, maybe I should give it a try. And I did. I got in. Actually, I had already tried the Windows 10 version, and I had actually been looking a little bit at the Windows 10 version as well. And I was like, yeah, the Windows 10 version, I don't know as if I really like that much either. It's not necessarily better. But eventually, what I decided is I'm going to have to try it. And so I went in, I tried it, and I started playing it. And at first I was like, I'm not so sure about this. It just doesn't seem to work the same. The controls seem a little bit strange. The world seems a little bit strange. And I'm not going to do it anymore. So I played for maybe an hour. And then I was like, all right, I'm just going to leave that, and I'm going to go back and play my other one. And I did. I went back. I played for a couple of weeks. I just didn't even bother with it anymore. I was like, this is the version that I want to play. I want to play the Xbox One edition. And so I just kept playing the Xbox One edition. Now, one of the things that actually convinced me that I needed to keep trying that I needed to try the new one again is the disc, actually. So I have kids, and my kids started messing with the discs. And I learned, and we also ended up getting Lego Worlds. Lego Worlds, where you go in and you play Lego Worlds, and my kids started wanting to switch discs back and forth over and over and over again, and I was like, I don't like this. This doesn't work for me, because the kids would try to change it out themselves, and kids don't understand that you can't put fingers all over a disc. So my discs started getting dirty. I had to start cleaning my discs to try and keep them clean. And so my Xbox One edition of Minecraft started getting dirty, started getting to be a problem. And not only that, but every time I played, I had to put the disc in. Had to take it out, put it in, take it out, put it in. And I decided I didn't like doing that. That was one of the problems that I found. The next thing is Microsoft managed to remove one more of the obstacles that I had to actually playing the Xbox, or to me actually playing the new version of Minecraft. So what they did is they made it so that I could get it for free. I hadn't bought it at that point. The only trials that I had done, I had kind of done a little bit of a trial version of it to kind of see what it was like, and it didn't sell me on it at that point. But when I went back to it a few weeks later, or maybe a month or so later, I was able to actually get it for free. See, before, because I had bought the disc version, they weren't going to let me have the new version of Minecraft for free. Because one, I had bought it after the new Minecraft had already been released, so they were kind of expecting me to buy the new version, and I was pretty much adamant, I'm not buying the new version. It's just not going to happen. I'm not willing to do that. But it became more and more evident that I was going to need to get it. Well, I went in to check and see, because it kept popping up saying, it's actually free, it's actually free, and even for people that have a disc, it's actually free. And I was like, yeah, right. I went into it, it wasn't free. So I was being stubborn. I can be pretty stubborn sometimes. But eventually I was like, all right, well, we're going to have to give it another try, I guess, because I'm hearing that it's free again. So I went in and I was like, all right, well, last time I went in and I tried to say, download this, and they said, oh, we'll pay this amount of money. And I was like, we'll see if it does it again. Probably will. So I went in and I said, okay, let's download it. And it said, okay, this is free. And I was like, oh, wait, it has changed. It is free now. So it's like, okay, well, why not get it for one? So I downloaded it. And I'm guessing that a lot of you who have the Xbox One edition have stories about how you have downloaded it, you do have it on your console, you'd just rather not play it. That's fine, that's fair. You may have even tried it. But the problem is, have you actually played it and invested in a world in it? Because until you do that, you don't really get used to the controls. You don't really get used to how the world works. Now, is that important to you? Maybe not. But then maybe the updated Aquatic isn't important to you. Maybe the future updates, like the Earth update, that is probably what they're going to go into next, is they're going to actually be updating some other form, and it's going to be the Earth update. At least that's kind of what it seems like to me, is to where it's going to be going. So maybe that's not important to you either. Maybe never getting more updates to it isn't important to you, and that's fine. So you can play your Xbox One edition and you can enjoy it, and you can enjoy it forever, because they're not ever going to discontinue the game itself or make it so that the Xbox can't play that game. You bought that game, you own that game, it is your game, and you will be able to play it on your Xbox One forever. Well, as long as your Xbox One is around, right? Or And so you're not losing that game. And they offered you a brand new game for free. So it didn't really cost you anything to go to the new Minecraft. I guess what I'm trying to say is I have a hard time seeing why someone would absolutely and completely refuse to switch to the new Minecraft, or at least try the new Minecraft and play it enough to actually see where you're going. See whether you like it or not. And I'm telling you, an hour is not enough for you to see whether you like it. Like the Infinite World. If this world right here was not infinite, then there would be no way that I could go as far as I did in order to go to that woodland mansion. And I guess I also wouldn't be stuck in the conundrum of having to find my way home after going all the way to that woodland mansion. But that's part of the adventure. It's part of the adventure of Minecraft. And having an infinite world, it's just mind-bogglingly awesome. Because I can keep going for days. I could ride a horse and ride on boat and even place blue ice and fly down across the blue ice to go all the way, to go and go and go, and I could go on for days and still not hit the edge of the world. That is amazing. My Xbox One is an Xbox One X, which makes it really nice being able to play on it, because the Xbox One X does have better performance than, as far as I understand, any other console. I don't know this for certain because I haven't played the PlayStation 4 Pro. I guess is the highest generation, the best generation of that console currently. And I haven't played it. I haven't worked with it at all. But I have looked at reviews between the two, and the console itself seems better. Now the games on it, well, that doesn't really matter that much to me. The games I want to play are Minecraft, and then there's a few other games that I want to play. And they're all available on this console. Now, if you're into first-person shooters, maybe PlayStation 2 is better. If you're into sports games, maybe PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4. Maybe PlayStation 4 is better for that as well. I don't know. Because I don't play sports games, I don't play first-person shooter games on my Xbox One, or any console for that matter, or on the computer. I just don't play them that often. Now there is one first-person shooter that I will play, and I actually have it on my Xbox One. And that first-person shooter is Wolfenstein 3D, which is actually a 360 game that is compatible with the Xbox One. And originally it was a PC game from way back in the day. And one of the reasons that I play this game and this first-person shooter is because it's the only first-person shooter that I've ever really liked, for one. And the other version is for nostalgia reasons. See, when I was a kid, actually a teenager, when I was a teenager, my dad got a demo disc of Wolfenstein 3D. And he brought it home. And he said, okay, so here's a game that I want to play. And he wanted to play it. He didn't want us to play it. And even after playing it, he kind of kept this opinion, although he wasn't completely against us playing it, because it was a first-person shooter, and he wasn't really happy with first-person shooters for us kids. He's like, he was worried about what most parents are worried about, that his kids are going to become killers if they play killing games, which is I'm fairly certain there's very little to no relation between killing games and people becoming killers. You can kill people on a game, and that doesn't necessarily make you a killer. You can also not play killing games and still be a killer. So I fail to see a whole lot of correlation between the two. At some point, there might be a correlation, but I doubt it. They might find a correlation, but so far they have not found a real correlation between the two. And I've kept up on the reports and things too, and I still have not found any correlation between the two. But that's a topic for another time. And so anyway, so Wolfenstein 3D, yes, it's an old game, a very old game. It came out on PC probably early 90s. I don't know exactly. It is an old game, and I used to play it. And so basically, it was a demo version, so it only had the first floor on Wolfenstein 3D, and I learned how to play it and loved the game. I loved it then, and I still love parts about it now. Do I love everything about the game? No, it's pretty simple, pretty basic of a game, and it's not necessarily the type of game that you would play a whole lot in today's world. And I don't play it a lot. I've played it a little bit just to satisfy my nostalgia for it. So, but yeah, so that's the only first-person shooter I got it, and it actually does make a little bit of the point that I'm talking about with Minecraft and the fact that some of the Minecraft channels are being discontinued. So the fact of the matter is all games eventually get discontinued. Every last one of them eventually gets discontinued. No longer gets updates, or at least that's the way it used to be. Now you're fortunate enough that you actually do get updates to the game, because Wolfenstein 3D, as far as I recollect, there was never an expansion or an update to that game. Was it still a good game? Yes, it was still a good game, especially for the time period. But it never got an update. Never. And if it did get an update, it was probably just one of them, because it really, it was popular, but it sold a bunch of copies, and then kind of just went away. People stopped playing it, and a lot of people forgot it even existed. In fact, in today's world, there's very few gamers that will even remember what it was like. Remember what kind of game it was. And I might actually jump on here at one day and actually show you guys Wolfenstein 3D. In fact, I probably will. I'll probably jump through a few floors of Wolfenstein 3D at some point and do a little bit of a Let's Play Wolfenstein 3D with you. I'm not going to do it today, or maybe not even next week, but at some point in the future, I will probably show you what Wolfenstein 3D was, and you'll be able to get a glimpse of what gaming was like in the past. But one of the things about gaming in the past was that you did not really get updates. Really, that started changing probably somewhere around World of Warcraft time, is when you really started getting updates that prolonged the game's life and made it so that game brought new people in over and over and over again for many, many years. See, and that actually stemmed from the other Warcraft games and Starcraft games. Because, so, back when games first were around with the really old computers, what happened is you'd get a game and you'd play the game. But that was the game. You got it. You bought it. You bought that game and that game only. That's what you had. It was just that game. And then when you finished that game, when you either completed all of the levels or whatever, then that was the end of the game. There was no more. That was it in its entirety. There might not even be a sequel to that game. That's how gaming was. The game was what it was, and it was a one-game thing. Then they started coming out with sequels to the game. So Warcraft came out. So Warcraft came out, and it sold pretty well. And I use the Warcraft games because these are some of the games that I loved when I was a kid, and some of the games that I still play a little bit now is Warcraft games. And unfortunately, my favorite, Warcraft 2. Warcraft 2 was my absolute favorite game when I was a kid, and it is most definitely my favorite nostalgia game. I'm putting string in here, and I really shouldn't be putting string in here. Like, it'd make more sense in here, but I'm just hesitant to put it in there either, because really it was supposed to be a different chest that was for the mob drops, and that was supposed to be this one, but I don't have enough room for all the string in here. So I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do, because I probably just need to reorganize it. Either that, or I just need to start a new chest with this stuff in it. I think I'm just going to start. This chest right here is going to become mob drops, or have some mob drops in it anyway. It might have other stuff too. Basically, I have more chests in the other place than I do in here, and so I'm going to have to place things in a few different spots, it looks like. It really doesn't matter. Most of this stuff I'm just trying to get back to home base. In fact, all of this stuff, I'm trying to get all of this stuff back to home base. That's really the end goal. But I'm kind of doing it slowly. I'm actually going to move all of the mob droppings over to that chest, because it makes sense to keep all of them in the same place. I will leave arrows here though, because the bows are there, so I might as well leave arrows there as well. So we'll throw the string up there on the top. I'm going to do that to claim that whole line, and then I can just put the rotten flesh right underneath it. And then I've already started the bones on the bottom row, so I'm just going to continue that. So with Wolfenstein 3D, what happened with Wolfenstein 3D is eventually the game got discontinued. You couldn't buy copies anymore. In fact, the demo version of it was on the 3.5-inch floppy hard disks. So today, if you say hard disk, you're thinking about the hard disk in a hard drive, which are basically like CDs, unless you're talking a solid state hard drive. And these are all different things that you might not even understand because you're a gamer, not a computer whiz. But, and I'm not a computer whiz either, but I do have a basic understanding of computers and computer components. At least enough of an understanding to get myself into trouble. So basically these were square disks that weren't the black floppies, but they were actually off-white, most of them. There was also some blue ones, but that's beside the point. Anyway, they were they were smaller than the black floppies, and they were actually called floppy disks as well, although they were in a hard case. And they were still square, or mostly square. And it actually, for just the demo version of this game, it actually took up 2 of these discs. And this is not a amazingly graphic type of a game, because it was on old computers. So these 3.5, I think they were 3.5 floppies is what most people would call them. And they were a hard disk floppy. I don't know. There's probably, so if you don't know, if you don't remember them, ask your parents about them. They might actually remember them. And they really weren't around for that long. These ones were probably only around for like 3 or 4 years that they were really in use. I guess that's fairly long in computer talk, but in the grand scheme of things, that's really not all that long. There you go, dating myself again. Anyway, so I mean aging myself, not necessarily dating myself. The terminology these days is a little bit different than it was when I was a kid, so I might say a few things that seem weird, especially if you are a younger person, like younger than 30 even. I'm going to take some of this rotten flesh. I guess I'll eventually take all of this rotten flesh, but I might as well take a bunch of it right now. We have some spider eyes. We'll go ahead and fill in the rest of the spider eyes and take the rest of the string. The ghost tears, I'm going to take them. I actually have some of these there. We'll take them. As well as the gunpowder and TNT. Let's take our discs. And a stack of glowstone, just to round things off. Alright, so yeah, basically what I'm doing in this episode is probably not very entertaining as far as what I'm doing on the game, but I've been needing to move this stuff, and I also wanted to just get on and talk about this change in Minecraft, and that led into this whole ordeal about the age-old deal of how games used to work and how games work, and a little bit about how gaming works today. So we are getting a little bit long on this video, so I'm going to cut the video now. We've covered a lot of territory, and I feel like it has been beneficial. It has definitely been a little bit therapeutic for me to be able to talk about this kind of stuff. And here I go, looking at myself. Alright, anyway, so yeah, and I will continue. I'll do another video that will talk a little bit more about this, about the old gaming and what it was like. Wolfenstein 3D eventually went out of popularity. It never really got an update. And only now is Wolfenstein starting to make sequels to the game. Sequels or remakes of the game. And they're much more modern. They're much different games than they were back then. And in my opinion, not near as fun of games. In fact, I don't play them, and the reason I don't play them is because I tried one of them, and they had changed everything and made it really gray and bland, and it just wasn't the type of world that I wanted to play in. I like colorful worlds, and that's one of the reasons probably that I like Minecraft so much, is because it's a colorful world as well. But anyway, so we will talk a little bit more about old games in the very next episode that I do about this, or do on this, and I will continue to be getting all of my stuff from there over to here, but I'm going to take a break. So this one was more about Minecraft and why Minecraft isn't doing anything all that different from what has happened in the past, and why this is probably a good move for Microsoft to actually go away from the older versions of the game and start focusing on the newer version of the game and making sure the newer version of the game gets the best updates the fastest that they possibly can. So anyway, I believe Microsoft's taking good steps to making Minecraft better. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and put your comments down there if you want to comment on what I'm talking about, what I'm saying on this video. And I will see you later. and we will talk about old games next time.